Let me paint the picture for you. It's Monday, May 19th, 2025. Microsoft's annual Build Developer Conference is taking place in Seattle. Thousands of software developers have gathered at the Seattle Convention Center. Note that this is Microsoft's biggest event of the year. They showcase new technologies, announce major partnerships, and set the direction for the future of computing. CEO Satya Nadella takes the stage to deliver the opening keynote. The room is packed, cameras are rolling, everything is going according to plan. Then just minutes into his speech, a voice cuts through the auditorium.
Satya, how about you show them how Microsoft is killing Palestinians? How about you show them how Israeli war crimes are powered by Azure? As a Microsoft worker, I refuse to be complicit in this genocide.
The entire incident lasted for less than a minute, but the consequences would last for much longer. Within hours, Microsoft fires Lopez. His 4-year career at one of the world's most valuable companies ends in a single day. Before we dive deeper into the Microsoft story, let me give you some quick context about why this issue is so important to these employees. On October 7, 2023, Hamas, which controls Gaza, launched a surprise attack on Israel. Over 1,200 Israelis were killed and more than 200 were taken hostage. Israel responded with a massive military campaign in Gaza. Since then, over 35,000 Palestinians have been killed, according to Gaza health authorities, though exact numbers are still disputed. The conflict has created deep divisions around the world. Some view Israel's actions as legitimate self-defense, others see them as disproportionate and harmful to Palestinian civilians. Tech companies like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon provide cloud computing and AI services to governments around the world, including Israel's military and government. For some employees, this feels like their work is directly contributing to conflict they morally oppose. For others, providing technology services to democratic allies like Israel is a normal part of international business. This fundamental disagreement about right and wrong is what's driving the protest at Microsoft and other tech companies. Now, with that context, let's look at who Joe Lopez is and what motivated him to take such a dramatic stand. Lopez was a software engineer working on Microsoft Azure hardware systems team. Azure is Microsoft's cloud computing platform, one of the company's most profitable divisions. He had been with the company for 4 years and by all accounts, he was a competent engineer doing his job well. But Lopez was also part of a growing movement within Microsoft called No Azure for Apartheid. This group consists of current and former Microsoft employees who want the company to terminate all contracts with the Israeli military and government. Lopez wasn't acting alone or spontaneously. This was part of an organized campaign that had been building for months. After his outburst at the conference, Lopez sent a mass email to his Microsoft colleagues. In that email, he disputed the company's claims about how its Azure cloud computing platform is used in Gaza. Microsoft had recently acknowledged that it provided AI services to the Israeli military for the war in Gaza, but said it had found no evidence to date that its Azure platform and AI technologies were used to target or harm people in Gaza. In his mass email to colleagues, Lopez wrote, and I quote, "I can no longer stand by in silence as Microsoft continues to facilitate Israel's ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people." Lopez dismissed Microsoft's internal reviews as inadequate and called for greater transparency. He also wrote, and I quote, "Leadership rejects our claims that Azure technology is being used to target or harm civilians in Gaza. Those of us who have been paying attention know that this is a bold-faced lie." Lopez clearly disagreed with that assessment by Microsoft. This incident didn't happen in isolation. It's part of a much larger pattern of employee activism at major tech companies. Microsoft has faced multiple protests recently. The Build conference alone saw at least 3 talks by executives disrupted by pro-Palestinian protesters. The company even briefly cut the audio of one live-streamed event to stop the disruption. Recently, during a speech by Jay Parikh, head of Core AI, another worker shouted,
"My people are suffering! God dies with Israel! God dies! No action for apartheid! No action for apartheid! No action for apartheid! Free! Free! Palestine! Free! Free Palestine! Free! Free Palestine!
Also, just weeks before the Build conference at Microsoft's 50th anniversary celebration in April, 2 other employees interrupted company events with similar protests. Ibtihal Aboussad, a software engineer in Microsoft AI division, stood up during a speech by Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman and shouted,
"So the question I wanted to address today is really simple. What does all this mean?"
Mustafa, shame on you. You say you claim that you care about using AI for good, but Microsoft sells AI weapons to the Israeli military. 50,000 people have died, and Microsoft powers this genocide in our region.
Thank you for your protest, I hear you.
You're serious, tell me you know about this, Mustafa.
I hear your protest, thank you.
Shame on you. You are a war profiteer.
Another engineer, Vaniya Agrawal, interrupted a separate event featuring Nadella, Bill Gates, and Steve Ballmer.
Well, I think
You're all hypocrites. I'm a Microsoft worker, and I do not consent to 50,000 Palestinians in Gaza have been murdered with Microsoft technology.
Both of these employees were also fired. This shows that Lopez protest wasn't an isolated incident. There's clearly a significant group of Microsoft employees who feel strongly about the company's business relationships and are willing to risk their career to make their voice heard. Other tech companies have faced similar employee activism. In April 2024, Google fired 28 employees after protests against the company's contract to provide the Israeli government with cloud computing and AI services. Google later fired approximately 50 total employees related to this protest. The tech industry is grappling with employee expectations that companies take moral stances on global issues. What we are seeing at Microsoft is part of a broader trend of employee activism in the tech industry. Tech workers, particularly software engineers, have significant leverage in today's job market. There's high demand for their skills and they often have multiple opportunities. This economic leverage gives them more freedom to take risks and speak out than workers in other industries might have. We have seen this pattern repeatedly. At Google, employees have protested everything from military contracts to internal diversity policies. At Amazon, employees have challenged the company's environmental policies and treatment of warehouse workers. At Facebook, now Meta, employees have raised concerns about content moderation and political advertising policies. At Apple, employees have questioned the company's relationships with authoritarian governments. The common thread is that tech workers increasingly expect their employers to align with their personal values on social and political issues. This creates tension because companies operate in global markets and serve diverse stakeholders with different political views. What one employee sees as moral imperative, another might see as political activism that doesn't belong in the workplace. Companies are struggling to navigate these competing expectations while maintaining business operations and shareholder value. From Microsoft's perspective, this protests create significant business risk. First, they disrupt major events that cost millions of dollars to organize and are crucial for maintaining relationships with customers, partners, and developers. The Build conference attracts thousands of attendees and generates significant media coverage. Having that coverage focus on employee protests rather than product announcements undermines the event's purpose. Microsoft even had to cut audio feeds during live-streamed events to stop the disruptions. Second, they create internal divisions that can hurt productivity and company culture. When employees are sending mass emails about controversial political topics and protesting at company events, it creates a hostile work environment for colleagues to disagree or just want to focus on work. Third, they put the company in difficult positions with customers and governments around the world. Microsoft serves customers in nearly every country. Taking strong political stances on contentious international issues could hurt business relationships and revenue. However, Microsoft's relationship with the Israeli military appears to be quite profitable. According to internal documents, just days after October 7, 2023, Microsoft started pitching services to the Israeli military, anticipating major military spending. Over the following months, the Israeli military became one of Microsoft's top 500 global customers. The company's statement that they found no evidence of their technology being used to harm civilians is an attempt to manage the situation carefully, acknowledging employee concerns while maintaining lucrative business relationships. For employees like Lopez, that response isn't satisfactory, especially when they see Microsoft's usage statistics showing massive increases in Azure usage by the Israeli military during the conflict. This fundamental tension between profitable business relationships and employee activism is unlikely to go away. The story of Joe Lopez and Microsoft reflects the changing nature of work in the 21st century. The employees of today expect more from their employers than just paychecks. They want to work for companies whose value align with their own. When they see conflicts between company actions and personal values, some are willing to risk their careers to speak out. Companies, meanwhile, are trying to balance employee expectations with business realities in an increasingly complex global environment. There are no easy answers to these tensions, and different people will reasonably come to different conclusions about who was right in this situation. What's clear is that this kind of conflicts are going to continue as the relationship between employers and employees evolves. What do you think about this situation? Was Lopez brave to speak out, or did he cross a professional line? Should employees have the right to publicly challenge their employers on political issues, or should they keep those concerns to internal channels? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every comment and love hearing different perspectives on these complex issues. And if you found this analysis helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more premium content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.